Hello. Greetings from Katie Woolman, Director of Career and Professional Development at Lenore-Rhine University. I'm excited to share information, tips, and tricks about professionalism for leaders who serve the world. Our goals for today's presentation are to define professionalism, discuss why it is important, explore specific skills and competencies related to professionalism, with a special focus on the diversity, equity, inclusion, and access lens. We're also going to learn a little bit about emotional intelligence and learn strategies to improve our professionalism and our emotional intelligence. Let's get started. Before we get started talking about what professionalism looks like, I would like for you to think about what your definition is of professionalism. And hopefully these quotes can give you some inspiration. Professionalism is a frame of mind, not a paycheck. Professional is not a label you give yourself. It's a description you hope others will apply to you. A professional is someone who can do his best work when he or she doesn't feel like it. Professionalism, it's not the job you do, it's how you do the job. It's not about having the skill to do something. It's about having the will, desire, and commitment to be your best. Professionalism is an attitude, not a time commitment. So professionalism is one of those words and concepts that, again, a lot of people would have different definitions of. And it can be hard to define exactly what we're talking about when it comes to professionalism. So let's look at the experts and see what they have to say. Any skill that may be useful in a professional setting qualifies as a professional skill. Employers want new workers to be responsible, ethical, and team-oriented, and to possess strong communication, interpersonal, and problem-solving skills. Professional skills are used in the workplace and beyond. They help boost motivation and productivity while also strengthening relationships. Professionalism skills include workplace or soft skills and technical skills. One of the biggest things that I can share with anyone when we're talking about professionalism is that every environment is unique. When entering a new situation, whether that's a new internship, job, or student government assignment or task, ask before you assume when it comes to professionalism expectations and standards. Be proactive. Ask your leader or supervisor their preferred communication methods and times. Ask about the expectations for behavior in and out of the office. For instance, with social media. Some career fields have very strict rules when it comes to posting on social media and behavior outside of the workplace. And some environments don't really care what you're doing out of the office. As long as your in-office behavior is professional. Know your role and do your best. President Obama has an excellent video talking about how problem solving and being a problem solver is one of the best professional skills you can have. Feel free to check out that video after you watch this presentation. Understand your power in the workplace and use it for the greater good. By that, I mean everyone, regardless of their role and list of responsibilities, is important and has a huge impact in the work environment. Understand your power and limit negative behaviors and negative comments that can create a negative environment for others around you. This is a list of top 10 soft skills, or professionalism skills that employers, regardless of profession, are looking for. So when we talk about professionalism, we are talking about these skills. And many of you have honed these skills over your time at Lenore Rhine and your leadership involvements. Time management, communication, adaptability, problem solving, teamwork, creativity, leadership, interpersonal skills, work ethic, and attention to detail. Now let's talk about how diversity, equity, inclusion, and access plays into professionalism. First of all, it's important to recognize that professionalism standards were typically built on traditional standards of success, highlighting white and Western favoritism in the workplace, and have not historically included experiences of marginalized populations in the workplace. Thus, organizations must ensure that their programs, policies, and practices promote equity and inclusion and mitigate biases. So that's important for you to know. In some environments, when we're talking about professionalism standards, there's an inherent bias. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are three closely linked values held by many organizations that are working to be supportive of different groups of individuals, including people of different races, ethnicities, religions, abilities, genders, and sexual orientations. Diversity, through the lenses of race, ethnicity, ability, gender, sexual orientation, neurodiversity, and beyond, can help to strengthen organizations, as studies have shown time and again. When we think about embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion and access in the workplace, I encourage everyone to add allyship to their skill set, something that they are working on in that professional toolkit they have. Allyship means that you can advocate for people who might not look like you or have your same background. However, you can be a force for positive change, knowing that, again, professionalism standards may be rooted in some bias, and you can work toward inclusion and equity of access for your fellow coworkers, even if you're not a supervisor, and you can include allyship in that list of professionalism skills that we looked at previously. How can you improve your professionalism and professional skills? You can start with some research and training. There are excellent websites out there for learning more about professionalism and what that looks like. I obtained a lot of the information for this PowerPoint on the Coursera website, and specifically information about professionalism. LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn Learning, has excellent resources and videos and interactive courses that you can participate in to learn more about honing your professionalism. Being involved in Student Government Association, that is a fabulous opportunity for you to improve your professionalism skills. Internships, volunteering, those are excellent ways to get more exposure and experience in the professional world and learn more about what professionalism really looks like day to day. Another strategy for improving your professionalism and professional skill set is collaborate and observe. By that, we might mean shadow a professional in your field of interest and see what professionalism looks like to them. For instance, someone working at a bank might need to wear business professional clothing in order to appear professional and enhance their professionalism in that workplace. And a physical therapist is likely to wear scrubs every day to their environment, and that is their professional attire. So every environment can be a little different. I encourage everyone to actively seek out mentors. Mentors can be very helpful when it comes to understanding a company culture, understanding a career field, specific professionalism standards, and can be a great opportunity to connect with real world work opportunities through that mentorship. And lastly, I encourage everyone to be open to feedback. No one is perfect in their professionalism skills, even workers who've been in the same company or the same job for many years. When you have an opportunity to give and receive feedback, please be open to it and see that experience as a learning opportunity and a way to grow. When you have professionalism skills, that leads you to have high emotional intelligence, often abbreviated as EQ. EQ, as opposed to IQ or intellectual intelligence, is your ability to manage yourself and how you interact with others. So we can think of emotional intelligence as some of those very skills that we were talking about with professionalism, your soft skills, your character, your personality, your level of maturity. Emotional intelligence is not just being a nice person. It is managing your feelings so that they are expressed appropriately and effectively. And emotional intelligence enables people to work together smoothly toward their common goals. The emotional competence framework, designed by Dan Goleman and referenced at the end of this presentation, gives an excellent overview of not only emotional intelligence skills, but also professionalism skills at the same time. Personal competencies are skills that we need to manage ourselves, surrounding three main categories of self-awareness, self-regulation, and motivation. I encourage you to pause this presentation, take a look at all of these skill sets, and ask yourself very honestly, which of these skills are strengths for you, and which of these skills are things you need to work on? And maybe there might be some skills on here that you've never heard of before or contemplated. So perhaps you want to be extra mindful to observe yourself and ask yourself, am I demonstrating a high level of self-awareness, self-regulation, and motivation in my day-to-day leadership and activities? The second set of competencies within this framework are your social skills, how you handle relationships, with the main categories of empathy and social skills. Again, I invite you to pause this presentation, take a look at every single skill that is described, and ask yourself which ones are strengths and which ones are the skills that you would like improvement on. This can be a great conversation to have with a mentor, a supervisor, or even a peer or a colleague in your work, volunteer, internship, or campus involvement, and getting someone else's opinion on what your strengths and areas of improvement might be. The implications of emotional intelligence in the workplace are very strong. High emotional intelligence is actually a better predictor of success in the workplace than just academic knowledge or IQ alone. The higher you advance in your career, the more this matters. Think about when someone is promoted to a manager position or a leadership position. When you are promoted, you very often do not get training on how to be a good manager. And the skill sets of a manager are very different because they're very people oriented and you have a different set of considerations. So high emotional intelligence is even more important when you're in those roles. Employers' graduate schools might test this before hiring you. They might give you a skills assessment of some sort to gauge your emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence impacts all facets of our life, not just in the workplace. The good news is that we all can improve upon our emotional intelligence. And here are some ways to do that. You want to ask yourself on a regular basis, what are your natural strengths? Lead with those, lean into those. What skills need improvement? Talk about those with a supervisor or a professor or someone you trust, a peer, and come up with strategies for improving those skills. One of the most important strategies that everyone can put a little more work into is self-care and making time to manage your self-care, including the amount of sleep that you get, the nutrition that you give yourself, and the exercise that you experience with your body. I love that little visual that we see on the screen here. You gotta nourish to flourish. It's very hard to be your best when you are working on 2 hours of sleep. You're much more likely to snap at a colleague or not respond well to a challenge that's going to come up if you have not taken care of yourself. Along with that comes mindfulness and creating boundaries. A lot of student leaders and very professional people have a hard time saying no in the workplace and outside of the workplace. Saying no is essential sometimes in managing your own boundaries and mental health. Remember that as you seek to improve, practice, and practicing a skill often makes progress. We are not aiming for perfection. That does not exist in human beings, but we are aiming toward progress, and that's very attainable. I encourage folks to spend time with high EQ people and seeking out mentors who you can see are managing themselves very effectively and their relationships very effectively. Spend more time with those people. You'll soak up lots of knowledge just by being around them. These are the resources that I consulted in order to share this information with you today, and I highly recommend that you check out these books and LinkedIn Learning if you're interested in further nailing your professional development. And please know that we are here to help. The Career Center at Lenore-Rhine University exists to help you take charge of your potential and learn as much as you can about managing your career and managing your own professional development. The best ways to reach out to us are through email or to request an appointment on Handshake, where we can have a one-on-one conversation about your professionalism and help you develop strategies for maximizing your professional skill set. Please consider taking advantage of this excellent resource on campus and know that we are here to help you while you are a student and free of charge for the rest of your lifetime as an alum. So remember, Bears for life, and go Bears.